The last time I was in Singapore, I had the most incredible chicken rice. And usually if you were making it the traditional way, it would take hours. But I'm going to show you a shortcut version using one pot. It's also very family friendly because I've got lots of honey and soy in it. So let's start with some honey in a bowl. To that, I'm going to add about 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. I'm using a light soy sauce. Honey, soy always goes so nicely with chicken, and it's always just a crowd pleaser. So it's going to go nicely in this one pot chicken rice. We'll give that a quick stir just to dissolve that honey. I'll also add a good amount of white pepper. And this is our marinade slash sauce. So I'm going to add half of this to our chicken. I'm using chicken thigh. There's so much flavour in the chicken thigh and it doesn't dry out as it cooks. And we'll add half of that and the rest we're going to drizzle over in a moment. We'll grab a spoon and just give that a mix. Now, ideally, you want to allow this to marinate for a couple of hours, or you can do this the night before. Okay, that looks great. Now, I've got a heavy base casserole dish. I like to use a heavy base casserole dish like this because it's going to hold all that lovely heat. It's also going to ensure the rice and chicken cooks evenly. I'm using some peanut oil. So we'll add, I'd say about 1 tablespoon or so. We want this to be really hot because we want to sear off our chicken and get some colour. Now, because there is honey there, it will sear off very fast. So we'll add half of this. Do this in batches so you're not overcrowding the pot. A few more pieces. And once we get some nice colour on the chicken, I'll remove it, place it on a plate, repeat this with the rest of the chicken, and then we can add our onions, ginger and garlic. Just added the onions and the ginger. Now in with the garlic. I always like to leave that to the end just so it doesn't burn. Okay, it's time to add our rice. Now I'm going to be using some fragrant jasmine rice. What I've done with the rice is just rinsed it 3 times. We just want a lot of the starch to go from the rice. So in with our jasmine rice and coat all of that rice in the onion mixture. Now we can add some stock, about 750 mils of stock, about 3 cups. Again, giving that a stir. To this, we're going to return our chicken and any of the juices. And what I'm doing is just placing it on the top of the rice. So as the rice starts to absorb all of that chicken stock, it'll fluff up, and then on the top of it, the gorgeous little pieces of chicken are going to sit up proudly. So they go in. And then any of that remaining honey soy mixture, you can also add a few more tablespoons of that over the top, just so it drizzles down into the rice. Okay, happy with that. Lid goes on. Now this is going to just come up to the boil, so I'll just keep an eye on it. Once it has, turn it to a really low heat and cook that for 15 minutes. Now once it's cooked, just let it sit there for about 10 minutes to relax, and then it's ready. Okay, the chicken rice has been turned off. I've allowed it to sit here for about 10 minutes, and let's have a look. Oh, it smells good. So I'm going to serve this with just some broccolini, just a little extra greens on the side, and I'm going to fluff this up, and you can see the chicken's perfectly cooked. Traditional chicken rice is served with a spring onion sauce and also a chilli sauce, but I'm just going to garnish it with the spring onions and the chilli. And on with our long red chilli, which is not too spicy. Some spring onion over the top. I also like some sesame seeds that we'll just sprinkle over. And if you like a little bit of extra chilli, why not add some chilli oil on the side? So that's my version of chicken rice. It's really cut down, so I've made it simple because that's what you want in the middle of the week, a dish that's only going to take 30 minutes to make, and everyone is going to love it. If there's one recipe that we all associate with comfort, it would have to be chicken noodle soup. So I'm going to show you how to make it from scratch using a whole chicken. So you need to get your hands on a stock pot just like this, big enough to fit the whole chicken, vegetables, the noodles, and of course the stock. So with our chicken, I've got a lovely free-range chicken here.
we want to open it up, put the whole chicken into the pot, along with 3 litres of chicken stock. Now, I'm using chicken stock here, but you don't have to. You can actually use all water. The only reason I like to add the chicken stock and water is because I love an intense chicken flavour. So we need to cover that with the remainder of the water here. Perfect. And now we need to bring this to the boil. Once it's come to the boil, you'll actually see some impurities coming to the surface. Then we'll start to skim the surface. Once it's completely clear, we'll start adding our vegetables. Come to the boil now, and I've removed most of the impurities. This is really important to ensure that we get a really nice clear chicken soup. So once it looks like this, we can start adding our veggies. I've got lots of veggies here, 2 carrots to start with, and I'm going to cut them into 3 chunky pieces, just like that. I have 1 leek. With the leeks, ensure that you give them a really good wash between all the leaves there because they do attract a lot of soil. And I've also got some celery, so 3 stalks of celery. I'm just going to cut them in half. I've also got 1 onion that I'll cut in half, and then they can all go in. So it's going to be quite full in this stock pot, so you need a large one, like I said before. In goes the leek with all the little bits of carrot, the celery pieces. Try to squish it in there. And this onion I'll actually cut into 4 pieces so everything fits nice and snug. Perfect. I've also got some garlic here, and I'm just going to bruise half a bulb of garlic, and that can go straight in just like that, skin and all. I've got a few peppercorns, 1 bay leaf, and a good amount of thyme. I love the addition of thyme to this, so that can go straight in there. Lid goes on now, and we just want to allow this to bubble away for about an hour and a half, and just you wait. The whole place is going to smell like amazing chicken soup. Can't help but smile. It smells so good in here, and all the vegetables are cooked. They're really soft now. I can smell the bay leaf and the thyme. So now it is time to take out all these vegetables. Just with this spider here, very carefully remove them. In actual fact, you don't have to be careful, because what I'm going to do is actually roughly chop all these vegetables to place back into the soup once we've taken all the meat off the chicken carcass. So just take out as many as you can at this stage, just like that. Look how good that leek looks. I love leek when it's cooked so slowly. It turns into something magnificent. It's actually really sweet. And now for the chicken, we'll just grab him with this spider again and take him out. Just drain most of it. It will fall apart, that's fine. We'll take him out, put him in the tray also. Now we do want to allow this to cool down just slightly so we can separate the meat from all of the skin and the bones. I'll also chop up all those vegetables to put back into this stock. Also, another very important thing, we need to season this with a good pinch of salt. Once that's cooled down and we've removed all the meat and chopped up all the vegetables, I'll return it back to the stock along with the vermicelli noodles, and we'll cook it for another 5 minutes, and then our soup is ready. Now it's time to bring the whole soup together. So I've got some vermicelli noodles here. These are going to take moments to cook, between 3 and 5 minutes. So I'm going to put, let's say 3 nests in, just like that. We can also add our veggies back to the broth now. So just very carefully, just pour all that in and give that a really good stir. The vermicelli noodles are ready, so all I need to do is add our chicken. You can see that I've just finely shredded it, and I've ensured that there are no bones anywhere in there. So in it goes. You can see how much chicken you get off that one carcass. So this soup will actually feed a whole family, plus give you some leftovers, which is always nice to know. So we just warm that chicken up in the broth there,
And I always have to have a big bowl of soup for this. So we'll just scoop all of that. Look at that, how wholesome does this look? Straight in there, lots of noodles, all those veggies, the chicken of course, and the most important part is the broth. I just love it. I always make sure that I have a good 2 or 3 ladlefuls of this. Look at the colour of that. That is spectacular. I have to have a taste, of course, even if it's piping hot. The world's best soup. You know, if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're sick, well, chicken soup will fix everything. Today's a special day because we've got Kelvin Chung all the way from Dubai. Your restaurant, Jun's, fantastic. What are you going to be cooking for us today?
So we're gonna cook my mom's Sunday chicken curry.
Sounds delicious. And is this something that you can find at the restaurant, or is it something you love to cook for the chefs?
We do it for the team.
Yes.
It's kind of one of our go-to kind of family meals that everybody loves. It's delicious, it's tasty, and it's very, very delicious.
Anyone says chicken curry to me, I am there. And we're going to start with the curry paste.
Of course.
Okay.
So first off, right away off the bat, we're gonna toss in our base, just a touch of oil.
Yep.
We're gonna sweat out our onions. If you wanna give us a quick chop for
Yes.
our other ingredients.
Okay, we've got some coriander stalk.
Yes, so we like to have zero waste in the restaurant.
Yep.
So we'll use the stalks for the paste, and then we'll do the garnish with the rest of the leaves.
Okay, I'll get on to chopping that.
Thank you. And while our onions are sweating, I'm just gonna give our garlic a quick slice. Generally for these type of sauces, I avoid using too much minced garlic. It tends to burn quite a bit,
Yes.
and you don't want that burnt garlic
Yep.
taste.
So what we're doing here for the curry paste, instead of blending it all first, you're going to cook it down and then blend it.
Yeah, I find that a little bit easier, especially even for home. Whenever we use this kind of sauces, we make quite a big batch so that we can just pop in the freezer.
Oh,
And whenever
fantastic.
you're in a mood for a bit of curry, just defrost an ice cube and throw it in.
Oh, what a great idea. So tell me a little bit about Jun's. What's the style of cuisine?
So I always describe our restaurant as a third culture restaurant,
Right.
meaning it's things that I did at my father's restaurants growing up as a kid, things that I ate and loved. In the you get all the ethnic cuisines in Canada, and I like to blend those flavors together. So we don't essentially put ourselves in a box. I never describe the restaurant as a Chinese or Japanese or Thai,
Yep.
but we capture that essence.
And Kelvin, your resume is quite long. You've worked around the world, I mean, a lot of places.
Yeah, it's taken me a long journey across the globe. Ran away from North America when I was a kid.
Yep.
Worked my way to Europe. Spent a couple years in Belgium. Back to the U.S. Back to Canada. We spent quite a bit of time in India, and now we're in Dubai.
Wow, well, maybe your next restaurant has to be in Australia.
I would absolutely love that. We're actually working on our next project now, which we'll announce soon.
Okay.
But coming up soon.
Oh, so you can't tell us where the next Jun's is going to be.
Not yet, not yet. So right now, we're just sweating the onions and garlic.
Yep.
We're gonna toss in our chilies now. And please feel free to adjust this part. However spicy that your family likes it, please
Okay.
add or remove some of the chilies. And we really wanna sweat that out properly to build those flavors.
Yep.
And once these are sweated out properly, we're gonna add in our ginger as well as our chili powder and cook that out. And then everything that you've chopped so nicely for us, we're gonna cook that down and our paste would be ready.
Oh, it already smells fantastic, and we've only added half of the ingredients.
So now that everything has sweated nicely, I'm gonna add my chili powder in, and we're
Okay.
gonna try to cook that out so you don't get that raw flavor.
So is this going to be quite a spicy curry?
Generally, it has quite a bit of spice,
Yep.
but then at the end, we're gonna finish it with some delicious coconut milk, which will lighten it up and give it a nice sweetness to it.
Fantastic.
Okay, so now that our chili powder's cooked out, please toss in the rest of the ingredients, which will add a little bit of moisture to prevent it from sticking and to give it a chance to kind of cook out properly.
Okay, so we've got our coriander root and some lemongrass, and then we've got our tomato and capsicum. They can go in.
Yeah, just to give it a little bit of body and a little bit of sweetness.
Lovely.
Okay, so now we're just gonna toss in our kaffir lime to give it some of that fragrant citrusy flavor. And we'll let this cook for another 5, 6, 7 minutes.
Yep.
But while that's cooking, we'll marinate our chicken.
Fantastic. So let's talk chicken. We've got chicken thighs, skin on, bone in. I like your style, Kelvin.
It just tastes so much better. The chicken's juicy and it's delicious.
Yeah. It's also very forgiving. You know, it doesn't dry out very easily.
It's a no-brainer. It's
Yeah.
always gonna be safe and it's always gonna be tasty, right?
Very nice. So what's in the marinade?
Okay, so first we're going to grab our coriander powder.
Okay.
A bit of turmeric for some color. Then we have some cumin and a bit more chili powder.
Ooh, it's gonna be spicy.
So we'll just give this a little bit of a mix,
Got a spoon here for you.
please. Okay, and while you're mixing that, I'm gonna drop a splash of oil onto our chicken so that the spices stick to it.
Okay.
Generally for something like this, if you can, just do it a couple hours ahead or overnight.
And that goes straight over.
Straight onto it and mix it up.
Any salt at all?
So this is when you're gonna add some salt, a bit of pepper as well.
All right, well, I'll give this a good mix. We'll allow it to marinate. And while that's happening, we can blend our gorgeous curry paste.
Perfect. All right, now that we've seared up our chicken, we're gonna build our foundation for the curry.
Okay.
Okay, so straight off the bat, we're gonna take a bit of coconut oil, if you can hand me a spoon.
Spoon for you,
Okay.
sir.
And then we're going to build that flavor again. So the beauty of this recipe is that because we've made that curry paste ahead of time, we just add a bit of fresh ingredients and the curry tastes amazing.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just gonna add our chopped garlic. Then we add our minced ginger, some minced onion.
That's the thing when it comes to curry, when you say building flavours, it's not just a curry paste, in it goes. To make it as fragrant as possible, you need all of these little elements to slowly cook together to really get that gorgeous aromatic flavour.
That's a great tip because you want those flavors and you want that complexity and you want that freshness and vibrancy from all the spices and all the aromats.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've sweat out our base, we're gonna add some of that lovely curry paste that we made earlier.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. You just need to add a touch and the rest just lay into an ice cube tray, pop in the freezer, you can have curry anytime.
And freezing your homemade curry paste is just such a delight.
And it's fresh and it's tasty and you know exactly what's in it.
Yep.
Okay,
Fantastic.
so now that we've cooked that out, we're going to add our coconut water. Not only does it give it freshness, but you get underlying sweetness to balance out that spice.
Great.
Okay, now we can throw in the rest of our vegetables.
All right, so vegetables, we've got some more capsicum, or as you like to call them, peppers. And you've got some carrots.
Yes. So again, we're laying some sweetness to balance out that spice.
Potatoes, lots of potatoes. Look at this gorgeous yellow flesh potato. They're going to hold their shape
And
in a
it's
curry.
beautiful. It's my favorite part of curries because potatoes soak up that curry flavor and they're the tastiest bits to the curry.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, and now that our vegetables are in, we're just gonna put our chicken on top.
Okay, chicken on top. I love this because it's a generous portion.
Yeah.
Feed many of us here.
It's so much easier just to cook for the whole family in one shot.
Yep.
You got one pan, there's no fuss, no cleaning.
Well, you could make this the day ahead and it'll taste even better because all those flavours would just mingle even more.
Past the chicken stock.
Chicken
We're just gonna top it off with that and we're gonna let it simmer.
Okay, so the lid goes on when we're simmering.
Yes.
Yep, and how long roughly do you think this will take to cook?
So I usually like to cook this for at least an hour or two, just until the vegetables are just starting to fall apart. And you want that sauce to reduce so it'll intensify that flavor of that curry.
Okay, fantastic. And keep going, a bit more stock.
I think it's great.
All right.
Yeah, just enough to cover. So we're just gonna toss in some freshly grated coconut to get more of that lovely coconut flavor. We'll pop the lid on and just let it simmer away for about an hour, hour and a half.
It's gonna be good. Oh, now it's time to have a look at this gorgeous curry. Oh, I love it.
The sauce has had time to condense and reduce. So now we're ready to finish our sauce.
All right.
Okay, so here we have a bit of coconut milk powder.
I never use coconut powder, but
It's a great product.
Yeah, particularly if you've got quite a significant amount of sauce, you want to add it to the last minute. This does a great job.
Okay, we're just gonna mix it in, and you'll see it get nice and creamy.
Yeah, it does,
Chicken is
doesn't it?
falling off the bone. A splash of fish sauce.
How come you add your fish sauce at the end?
Fish sauce. One, as you're reducing the sauces, you don't want it to become too salty, so it's much easier to adjust at the end.
Great tip.
Okay, just another splash of soy sauce, and we're ready to plate.
All right, now we've got some coriander here too, and some gorgeous lime.
Yeah, so if I'm plating, if you want to give the coriander just a rough tear,
Can do.
I'm gonna ladle some of that lovely sauce on the chicken, and we are ready to serve.
Gee, I would love to be working at your restaurant and getting served this for staff lunches.
It's kind of one of the things that I learned from my father's restaurants very early on.
Yep.
I find that family meal is the most important time of the day. So we are very particular with what is served during family meal.
Yeah, all the chefs that come on this show really say how important family meal or staff meal is because it's an opportunity for everyone just to get together and just relax together, and the camaraderie comes together before the action happens at the restaurant.
It's one of the neglected things, I feel.
Coriander, just rip it straight over the top.
Yeah,
Over the top.
Okay.
Pull it over.
that looks beautiful. And then we just want a touch of acidity to balance it out. Always some fresh lime juice to go on top.
Oh, fantastic. This is a standout dish. And don't forget, when you're making a recipe like this, use chicken thigh, bone in, skin on, because it's just going to taste better. Thank you. Hainanese is the most incredible slow-cooked chicken with rice and lots of different sauces. And every time I go to Singapore, it's the first thing I do. They do it incredibly. But you know what? You can make it at home, and chicken skin, once it's rendered down, is the most delicious thing with rice. So I'm taking a little bit of the excess fat away from the cavity, and we'll reserve that for our rice later. Now the chicken can go straight into our pressure cooker. And then for the aromatic flavours, well, you have to have lots of garlic and ginger. So ginger, this one's quite young, so I'm not going to peel it, but what I will do is slice it into chunks. So in with a nice big handful of fresh ginger, and we'll scatter that around. You can even place a little bit in the cavity. One whole bulb of garlic that I'll cut horizontally, so in half, skin and all, and that can go in. And spring onions, I'll use half a bunch. And I want to use the green part and not the white part. Now this I want to use later on for a sauce, so we'll reserve that. So just the green part of the spring onions, so much flavour in this, so in. And then some coriander. The coriander leaves I'll use as a garnish later on, but for now I just want to use the stalks and the roots. Again, so much flavour. We'll cut them in half. I've given the roots a really good wash under some water so we don't have any dirt or sand there. And one long red chilli that I will cut in half straight down the centre, seeds and all too, and that can go in. Now we need to season this a little bit, so a pinch of salt over the chicken and again into the cavity. I like to add a splash of soy sauce too, and some Shaoxing wine, which is some Chinese cooking wine. And now we need quite a lot of water to just cover the chicken. And the last thing I'll add is some star anise. And now the lid can go on the pressure cooker. We'll close that, turn it on to a high heat, and once it comes to pressure, I'll turn it down and continue cooking it for about half an hour, and just wait until you see this chicken. It's going to be falling off the bone. In the meantime, we can get on to a delicious ginger and garlic sauce. We'll just cut another knob of ginger. This is about 2 to 3 centimetre piece of ginger in, along with 2 cloves of garlic and the spring onions, the light green part and the white green part, that can now go in to our food processor to finish off this sauce. Now what I'm going to do is start to chop this in the food processor. Then once it's really finely chopped, I'll add a few more ingredients to it.
Okay, wow, that smell is incredible. And you can see how finely chopped that is. That's what we're looking for. You want it to almost become a paste after you start to add the liquid. I will be adding some chicken stock to this later, but for now we can get a head start by adding a little bit of oil, so vegetable oil, and for some saltiness, some soy sauce. And then again, I'll give it another blend and we'll just place it to the side until that chicken stock is ready. And then we can add just a few tablespoons to it just to finish the sauce off. Now I reserve that little bit of fat for a reason because there's so much flavour in it, and you can see that it's just rendering down. Now once you've got about a tablespoon of it, you can remove the chicken fat and we can discard that. And now we can start frying the onion. Now this is the chicken rice that goes with our Hainanese chicken. So you need to soften your onions. Don't get too much colour on the onions. Essentially, we just want them to become really, really sweet. I'll also add a little pinch of salt at this stage. Now, while that's softening, let's have a look at this chook and the broth. I've released the steam on the pressure cooker, so it's now safe to take the lid off and have a look at that. Now I need to remove the chicken from the stock, and you'll see, because it's been cooking for half an hour under pressure, it is so soft it falls apart. That's fine, and you know what? That just means that it's just so tender and moist. So I'll start taking the legs and the thighs from the pot, and then the breast and the wings, they can come away together. Now we'll just place this down, and with a pastry brush and a little bit of sesame oil, we'll just coat it in the oil, a few teaspoons, and then brush it all over the chicken. Okay, so these onions have softened, so we can add some jasmine rice that I've rinsed. And we'll just coat it in that chicken fat and the onions to give it some really nice flavour. And now we can add our broth that has so much flavour from the ginger and the spring onions and the garlic. So just with a ladle, we'll add the chicken stock. You want it to cover the rice. And then what I'm going to do is bring it to the boil, turn it down completely, pop a lid on, and this is going to take 15 to 20 minutes to cook on a low heat. Now this chicken has been sitting here for 15 minutes. It's still nice and warm, and I can smell the sesame oil that I've placed on it. So now it's time to plate up. So I'll just remove the cling film. And now this is very traditional, where you get a nice big plate like this or a tray, and then all the little elements come together on the plate. So you can have a little bit of the soup, some rice and the chicken, and then the broth can go in. You can add some of the spring onions in here or a little bit of the ginger, that's completely fine. And now for the rice, have a look at this. It's absorbed all of the liquid. It's ready to go. And I'll just grab a spoon. We'll place some of this rice into a bowl. And then we still haven't finished off our ginger sauce. So just a little ladleful of our broth into the sauce. I like it to be hot, so we get a really nice pungent smell from that ginger. Mix it together. And now this sauce can go into another bowl. And now for the chicken. Well, my favourite part would have to be the thigh and the chicken leg. You can leave the skin on, that's very traditional. And we'll just clean up the leg. And then we'll place that onto the plate along with another thigh. And now this is not complete without the traditional salad, a combination of cucumber and tomato and some extra spring onions and some coriander. All of these fantastic flavours that go with it, almost cleanse the palate after you've had the chicken rice and the chicken. So just a few cucumber pieces cut on an angle, some nice thin slices of tomato, and the spring onions. I'll leave them quite chunky but cut on an angle. And then we'll just grab our little pieces of vegetable and then place them near the chicken. A little bit of that coriander over the top.
This is one of those dishes that has it all, from the sauces, the soup, rice, and that beautiful, moist, tender chicken. If you're a spice lover, then you're going to love Mike Reed's jerk chicken.
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough ingredients here.
Well, Jamaicans are known for their boldness, right? And this dish absolutely represents everything about Jamaica. It's punchy, it's spicy, it's packed full of flavour. So I'm going to get you to throw all the spices, the honey into the blender.
Yep.
All right, so I'm just going to chop up some rough chops, some onion, garlic, ginger, some spring onion, thyme as well.
Okay.
And then you've got some beautiful spices in front of you. You've got allspice, nutmeg, cinnamon, coriander, lots of nutmeg, lots of nutmeg. You've got some beautiful dried Scotch bonnets as well. And you can use habaneros if you can't find Scotch bonnets, but Scotch bonnets are always the preference with Jamaican cooking.
It's got a lovely smoky smell
it's
to it too.
exactly that. It's more of a smoky chili.
And we've got a bit of stock powder, which is interesting.
Yeah, we use a lot of like bouillons in Caribbean cooking. About a tablespoon.
A tablespoon it is. And we also added some brown sugar there, so that'll balance out the saltiness of the stock powder.
Absolutely. And the spice level as well.
Very nice. Some soy sauce.
Yes, please. Again, for that little salty umami kick.
Little splash.
Little splash.
There we go. And this is interesting, some mango.
Yeah, I mean, it's optional. You don't have to add mango to a jerk paste. So we're going to pair it with a mango hot sauce later as well.
Oh,
so, you know, it's just another layer of flavour.
In it goes. Great. And look at this chopping straight in. Oh, and the smell of this thyme, fantastic.
I love fresh thyme. A little bit of stalk in there is okay.
Yeah, in it goes. And that's it. Any salt?
No salt yet.
No
soy
salt.
should do that.
Yes, okay.
And then the spring onions are here for you. And then you're done.
Spring onions in. All right, lid on, and we're going to blend this until it's a smooth paste.
Perfect, yep. And I'm just going to split these chickens.
Great. How's that, Mike?
That looks perfect.
Oh, that's good.
I know, the smell, right?
Smells fantastic. And pour it straight on?
Yeah, straight over.
A whole lot?
Half.
Half.
I always make a little bit extra.
Yes.
So there's some in my fridge ready for next time.
Do you think you could freeze that?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, and I even freeze them in like little ice cube trays.
Yes.
So that I can add them to little sauces or curries and, you know, when I just want a quick, easy meal.
Yeah, because like you were saying before, the jerk paste here is not just a marinade. It can be used in many different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Now, how long are we going to marinate that for?
I'm going to whack it in the fridge, leave it to marinate for an hour.
Yep.
You can do it the night before if you want to, but at least an hour.
Sounds good.
So we've just chopped up some spring onion, some chili, some coriander, juiced a couple of oranges, and this is for our mango hot sauce. Ooh. So this is one of my favourite hot sauces to make at home. Yeah. So nice hot pan. And I'm going to go straight in there with the spring onions, the coriander, the chili. And we're just going to let that, because I want that little bit of smoke in there, which is why I wanted a hot pan.
Okay.
And now we're just going to add in our orange juice.
I like this flavour combination. You've got freshness of the herbs, sweetness, acidity from the oranges.
Exactly that. So a bit of sugar goes in.
Yep.
A little bit of rice vinegar. And then we're just going to let that cook away.
Okay.
And just for a little bit of extra funky punch.
Have I told you, Mike, that I do like hot, but not too hot?
Oh, we will see how we go.
It's going to be interesting.
Okay, so just a little bit of the sriracha hot sauce.
Yeah.
And we're just going to let that simmer now for about 3 to 4 minutes. And then we're just going to blitz it up and it's done. Leave it to cool.
Too easy.
Really easy.
All right, back to this gorgeous chicken. It's been
our
marinating.
chicken.
And we've sort of got our production line ready to go.
Gonna get a little bit messy, but it's totally worth it. So we're gonna do like a double flour coating.
Okay.
So we're gonna go straight into some seasoned flour.
Right.
So it's just salt and pepper in there. And then into some buttermilk.
Buttermilk, yep.
And then back into flour again.
I have some more flour here.
Yes.
Okay. And then after we've placed it into its last coating of flour, we start to fry it.
That's it. We
Okay.
just fry it about 180, you know, we've got a little bit of oil here,
Yeah.
not too hot.
Yeah.
Do it in little batches
Yep.
and you'll get a beautiful, consistent product.
All right, you're onto the flour,
Yeah.
I'm onto the buttermilk, and then we'll get blending once that's cooked down.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay, almost there.
Coming together. This is a thing of beauty.
It's gorgeous, right? And you just give it that little bit of time in the oil and it just goes that gorgeous golden colour,
Yeah.
which you want. I mean, it's just the most amazing fried chicken. So if you can put that beautiful hot sauce into this gorgeous little bottle, I'm just gonna do like a very simple glaze, and it's almost a cheat glaze, right? I use maple syrup, and I've got some gorgeous pickled jalapenos.
Okay.
That pickle juice into there.
Nice idea.
Oh, I love it. It's like, you know, I love a pickleback drink.
Yeah.
So
Why not?
kind of gives me that sort of vibe. Just mix that through.
A little bit
And then we're just going to toss the chicken straight through.
Whoa. I mean, the amount of layers of flavours here.
That's it.
is quite incredible.
But for me, that's what food should be. You know, it's all about building those layers, because then each bite you're discovering something new and delicious.
Oh.
So it's just a nice little way of layering a bit more flavour in there.
This is seriously fun food for me. I
It
just
is.
love how interesting it is and the different types of steps to get to this incredible result. Yeah. There you go.
Simple food, but delicious food.
Little drizzle.
Yeah. And then
What
a
else
few
have you
more of
got?
those pickles.
Okay, yeah, we'll put them around.
Yeah.
What's quite interesting about this is there are so many different techniques that you've shown. So
Yeah.
everything from how to make the most perfect buttermilk coating for
Yeah.
chicken to that marinade, which is versatile. You can use it how you like it.
Absolutely.
To this delicious mango
Yeah.
hot sauce. Just that by itself as the recipe. Take that from this.
Basically, what you're saying is I've spoiled you today.
Like, over spoiled me. But the fact that you've brought it all together is a real treat.
It's a beautiful dish, and exactly what you say. You can take elements out of it,
Yeah.
or you can take the time and make it all together, and it's something that you'll go back for time and time again. I promise you.
Oh, Mike, all right, well, the taste is in the pudding. The chicken, as you say. Shall we dig in?
Please, ladies first.
I'm slightly fearful how spicy this is going to be. Let's see how we go.
Some sauce.
Oh, yes. Look at that. Beautiful. Ooh.
Even comes out like a hot sauce. Shake, shake, shake.
Shake, shake. Yeah, you need a little bit of it. Dip, dip, dip.
That's good.
Mike, this is good. It's like interesting, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's nice. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, there's something more.
Exactly that. There's like a little dance party going on in your mouth. And it's not spicy, for me anyway.
And that sweetness that comes in too,
Yeah.
that balances it. You're a magician.
Oh, Jazz, thank you, thank you.
It's really good and I'm enjoying that. And, well, can't wait to have a little bit more.
There you go.
Cheers, Mike.
Cheers.
One of the most popular curries in Australia would have to be butter chicken. I adore it. And I think it's because it's that beautiful combination of spices and the creaminess of some cream that's added to the end. And of course, a little bit of butter. So first up, we need a marinade for the chicken. So into a large platter just like this, I'll add a few tablespoons of yogurt. Not too much, it's just a thin coating on the chicken. This is going to tenderise the chicken too. And now a combination of minced garlic and minced ginger. We'll add that to the yogurt, along with a few spices. So some paprika, so smoked paprika, and we'll add that to the yogurt, and 1 teaspoon each of ground cumin and ground coriander. Now we'll give that a really good mix. Now I'll also add a little pinch of salt. Okay, now for the chicken. The best chicken to use for this would be chicken thigh, which is a darker cut of meat. Chicken thigh stays moist throughout the cooking process. And because we're cooking the chicken twice, so once under the grill and then in the gravy or the sauce, it is better to use this because it's going to maintain its moisture. So cutting it into 4, I've removed the skin, so we don't want the skin. So 4 thighs all up for this recipe. All right, all done. Now we need to coat this chicken in this little bit of marinade, and the best way to do this is just get your hands in there and mix it so every little piece is coated. Okay, now we can get onto the gravy. So just in a saute pan or a medium pot, I'll turn the heat on, just to low heat because we're going to add some butter and I don't want it to burn. I'll also chop some onion, so finely dicing it. Now this onion can go in, and then a few knobs of butter, and then we'll just allow that to melt away and start to cook. And now we can add a few whole spices to this. So 1 whole cinnamon stick and a few cardamom pods. Now we're going to cook this until it softens down, and then I'll add some chili. Now this is ground Kashmiri chili. You can get this from Indian grocers or you can buy it online. And it's famous not only for its slight spice, but more importantly, its vibrant colour. And that's where we get that bright orange colour from. Okay, these onions have softened, so I'll add a little extra ginger. Perfect. And we'll stir that in. And now we can start adding our ground spices. So the chili powder can go in. And the rest of that ground cumin and ground coriander and a little bit of paprika if you've got some left over. Now give that a stir and cook that off for just a few seconds until it starts to become really aromatic. Now we'll add our tomato paste. Now tomato paste is a crucial part of a buttered chicken because it's not only going to give it that lovely tomato flavour, it's also going to thicken up our gravy. Now this is not traditional, but I love the addition of some fresh tomato. This will bulk it out too. So 1 tomato, finely chopped, seeds and all, and a good pinch of salt. All right, so give that a good stir, turn the heat down, and we'll cook this for about 2 to 3 minutes. That's enough time for us to prepare our chicken. So it's been marinating for a little bit. I've got a tray here, so a tray that's been lined with a rack. So when it comes to buttered chicken, it's a combination of the classic chicken tikka, which is grilled chicken, put through that delicious butter and cream gravy. So we want to get this really charred and caramelized on the outside before we add it to our sauce. So what I'll do is place these with a little bit of space between them. Then this goes in the oven under a grill. So this will go in for about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. Then we'll remove it and it can go into the sauce. Now while the chicken's in the oven, we can finish off this sauce. Let's have a look. Oh, see that rich, deep red colour? That's what we're looking for. And to finish off the sauce, we need to add some cream. We'll pour that in. And then the last spice I'm adding to this is garam masala, and you do add this at the end so you can really taste the freshness of it. So a sprinkle of that, and then a little pinch of salt. And now this is going to cook for another 10 minutes on a low heat with the lid on. In that time, I'll check the chicken, turn it over so it's caramelized on both sides. Now the chicken has come out of the oven. Doesn't it look fantastic? See how crunchy it is on the outside? That's exactly how it should be. Have a look at this sauce. It is superb. That gorgeous orange colour that we all associate with buttered chicken. It smells delicious. I'm going to turn it down now, and all we need to do is mix through our chicken pieces. So we'll place it in there. Now we'll coat that caramelised chicken in the sauce, and homemade buttered chicken is done. Now you can't have a curry like this without serving it with some piping hot steamy rice. So I'll place a little bit of basmati rice on one side of the bowl. And then on the other side of the bowl, grab a nice few big pieces of chicken. A little bit of mint chutney, and then just with another spoon, some raita on the side. And there you have it, homemade buttered chicken. I love it. It's probably one of my favourite curries. It is super delicious.